What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Bon Air Adventure Rally and Camp. The Motoz guys stepped away, so I thought it'd be a prime opportunity for me to get behind the table and to tell you about what I think about Motoz tires. Number one, I think they're one of the best adventure tires in the industry. Coming in close and take a look. Moving from this direction that way, they have a tire to cover just about all your needs. If you're riding super gnarly deep sand like we have out here, the Desert HT is hands down the #1 tire. The Rally tire, if you are doing more highway, this guy's really, let me just back up. This is the loudest tire I've ever ridden on my motorcycle, ever. This thing is super, 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 super loud. It's like an airplane's riding behind your helmet the whole time you're on the pavement. But off-road, you cannot beat its traction. It's a little bit slippery in wet weather. It doesn't have the silica built into it like this one does. So if you ride a lot on the pavement, this Rally tire, you can get about 4,000 miles out of it. It has a lot of gap in between the tread blocks. It's just a phenomenal tire. You can rail the twisties as hard as you want. You're never gonna break traction, but off-road, you're gonna have amazing traction for about 4,000 miles. Moving this direction, we have the Tractionator Adventure. Now this was the first true adventure tire that they made, I wanna say 8 years ago now. This thing's phenomenal. A lot of guys are getting 6,000 to 10,000 miles out of this tire. I've never gotten more than say 5,000, but it's a great tire. You can see that the gap between these blocks is about half the width as we've had on the Rally tire over there. That allows us to have more rubber on the ground, allows it to have better longevity, and it's just a phenomenal, phenomenal way to go. And then moving on this way, if you ride a lot of street, like mostly street, but you want to have traction when you do get off-road, this GPS tire is really phenomenal. Here in the center, we have a solid center strip that lets it roll extremely smooth on the street. This allows it to run like a street tire and not have any bumps that you would get from having a split lug. That's going to be non-existent on the GPS, but when you get off-road, you're going to sink down into the dirt, and all of these lugs here on the side are going to be able to grab traction. Now, this is an interesting tire. You can run it one way for 50-50 or the other way for mostly off-road. Now, the difference is this tire facing you right now is in the mostly off-road direction. So it's actually going to have all of these leading edges that would be grabbing the dirt as this tire is spinning. You flip it around the other way, all of those edges are going to be curving backwards like this, and that's going to allow it to be super smooth when you lean into corners. Now let's talk front tires for a minute. We have a lot of different options depending on the type of riding you're doing. So if you're doing tons of street, but you still want to have traction when you're off-road, you can go with the Adventure rear tire, and then you run the GPS front tire. Come on and take a look. This is a super smooth rolling, more street-oriented tire that has some grip on it. So when you get off-road, like gravel road, dirt road, things of that nature, you're gonna have plenty of traction. Now, if you want more traction than this off-road, we're gonna move over to the Dual Venture front tire. This is one of my new favorite front tires, and the reason for that is it's reversible. That's right. You can run this thing like 2,000 miles and you start to get that trailing edge wear that we see on every knobby tire out there. You can flip this. And for about 500 miles, it's a little bit sketchy off-road, but then it wears down. And it's as if you have a brand new tire back on your motorcycle again. I've gotten over 9,000 miles out of 3 different sets of these now. I've done the tubeless and the tubed. Both have extreme mileage wear when you use the reversible or the flippable option. Now, if riding the highway isn't your primary objective, you want one of the best off-road tires, we're going to move on over to the Rally tire here. What you see between the Dual Venture and the Rally is these side lugs right here, how they are offset. These offset lugs allow this tire to catch dirt, so side hilling and things of that nature are just, you just don't get a better tire than this when you're looking for that type of traction out there. You see that this one here, we have angled lugs, so that has a little bit of that same effect, but we still have a flow through right here, so you're not going to get as good of that deep side hill sand traction that you get out of the Rally tire. If I was going to do Baja or the desert down here for an extended period of time, this Rally tire is 100% the tire I'd run. Now, if I was going to ride thousands of miles to get to my destination, like if I was going to ride to Moab or something like that, I would definitely put the Dual Venture on. I'd have amazing traction when I got there, but I would have a nice sound road running tire, quiet, smooth, just a great street tire that does dirt just as well as it does street. Moving on over this direction, if you want to have the gnarliest tire that you can have out there on the front, we have the Desert HT. This here is the match tire to that Desert HT rear that I showed you earlier. You can see we have large motocross style lugs here. We have a split lug design here in the center. Allows these two blocks to kind of act independently, if you will. And then really large lugs here, offset from the center, and then we have the same thing on the side. Anyway, that there is the full Motoz tire lineup for the adventure lineup. Now, super exciting. If you ride a dirt bike or motocross, they now have a full dirt bike motocross lineup as well. Of course, I didn't touch on the dual sport or enduro segment. We have enduro ITs for intermediate, STs for soft terrain, and then we have the new motocross tires as well. So Motoz has you covered. If you have a motorcycle that rides in the dirt, you need to get Motoz on your machine. That's it. That's what I have for you on the full Motoz lineup if you ride enduro, dual sport, or adventure. I'm Kyle Bradshaw. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, take care and ride safe out there.